for
Oh, yeah.
calves? Yeah. Okay. So we're live. It's aggressive lighting until you're behind it. So, oh, yeah, I went on Google Chrome. Okay. All these things. Making sure.
Oh, do you want me to go check?
Yeah, if you don't mind. You have your phone here? No. Okay. We'll see. See if anybody comments before. I know it's weird lighting, but like when we stand behind it, it's pretty bomb, I think. There we go. It's like a bit better. Okay, I'm getting my shoes on. We're doing calves today. Calves with core. If it was full core and we were on the mat, I would be saying, you know what, don't bother with your shoes. But we are going to be doing some standing stuff. I know for my feet, it's I thank you, Kelly, too. I know you sent a message. I didn't get around to it yesterday. Yesterday kind of
Looks good.
yeah, right on. Yesterday got enveloped with other stuff. And I'm actually having to make my way up to Timmins this afternoon. So if you are in Timmins, I will be doing spin tomorrow at 10 a.m. So yes, sometimes the days get those thrown the little wrenches into it. Trish is here. She said hello, and she's not saying anything else. Cheryl's off to the side and she's stretching her calves. Might be a good idea, right? That's a heel down, toe up, and then pushing your hip in towards the wall. So what I'm going to say is if you use bands, if you're a bands person, I don't think they work very well for calves. They really don't. So I'm just going to be honest. I don't think they work very well. They're not worth almost the headache of trying to keep them under your feet while you're trying to rotate up. We have an exercise where we're doing feet parallel. So again, for our people who are using bands, I would literally go if you want to do some extra weight, hold something here, hold something heavy on your body. Or if you don't want to do that, what you can do is just use tempo. So you can use body weight and just really rep out. And if you want, stability with your one hand, and then don't let the heels actually touch the ground. So that's actually a really good option. We have 3 different foot positions that we're working today for our calves. So by the time we get to the second and third, body weight might even be where you might want to be at. Parallel feet will cue you because sometimes the feet start to shift. I find the heels in, toes out in a plie position for calves. They're not too bad to hold. The one that's tough, at least for me, is toes in, heels out. I can feel that right in my hips already just because of having to twist in kind of from the head of the thigh bone and then coming up, right? Because they work different portions of the calf. So we're going to literally work them all today. So this one's a hard one to hold. Sometimes I find the balance is hard. If you're choosing a body weight exercise, I would choose this one. Another way to do it too, though, is you can hold a dumbbell on one side for rounds 1 and 3, and for rounds 2 and 4, hold the dumbbell on the other side because you're still going to get a little bit of balance. If you're ready to roll and you can hold that with both and you have dumbbells or heavy objects, you can absolutely do that. I think the big thing is balance, especially with those feet, just making sure that you feel stable. After that, we're going to hit the mat. So I do have a mat in front of me. We'll adjust the camera down, and then we're going to finish off with 3 rounds of 4 core. But we do have an extra one in there that kind of ties in the calves and the core. So we have lots of volume today. We kind of just wanted to talk about the options because the bands are just not really, I don't think they're valuable. You may say different. If you want to try and put those bands underneath your toes while you're elevating, go for it. Sometimes I think just grabbing something heavy and keeping it on your body, that might be a better bet for you. But you guys decide in the end what you guys are feeling on this one. We're going to start with parallel feet. Trish is here. It is time to go. So we're going to make sure our volume is all the way up on this one. So your feet should be parallel distance apart. Okay. If you are holding dumbbells now or at any point, you want to make sure that your shoulders are engaged and that the dumbbells are not pulling them down. So your traps are getting pulled out. I'm going to start with a body weight one, feet shoulder width apart. Okay. And I'm just going to rep it out a little bit quicker. So you'll see that Cheryl's going to move probably a little bit slower. She may not, though. I can already feel that my balance is a little bit compromised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to face this direction, and you're going to see that my heels are going to hover, and I'm not just hitting the highest point. I'm going to squeeze down, squeeze. So when you come up, I can feel that. Yeah, when you come up, flexing that. Oh, I spit already. Here we go. Happy Friday. Flexing at the top. You guys that have been with us for a while now, you guys know that I always get calves into my hamstrings and glutes, which are still sore from Monday for some reason. So I'm getting it a little bit up in here, and then I'm really focusing on flexing as I come to the top. Honestly, I think I'm okay with body weight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay with body weight for the parallel ones, at least for the next round. And then maybe I'll try the way that my feet sit for the balance. I really have to focus on making sure that I stay on the big portion of my foot pad. And I mean, like the big toe pad on this one.
And if you're a yogi, just having a spot that you stare at, that's
Yeah.
not movement, that really helps with balance. If I'm going to look up and I see us moving, it tips me over.
My glutes are on fire right now. My hamstrings are on fire. My calves are on fire. I know. It's just the ergonomics of how I am shaped back there. Oh my God, I'm dying. I'm like legit. I think it's a blessing though, because I'm getting a little bit of extra in here. So again, I am trying to squeak up as high as I can. I am so sorry. There's no way. There's no way that I can put weight on this right now. I got to focus on my form, and I have 3 muscle groups that are screaming at me right now. So again, I'm going to focus. So is Cheryl, feet shoulder width apart, rolling up, and then putting that big squeeze right. Oh yeah, that left calf is just booming right now. I was in the washroom the other day, and Cheryl was in the washroom, and I was just doing something random with my leg. It wasn't even like I didn't even mean to do it. And she goes, "Oh, look at your calf." I was like, see, all this calf training is paying off, right? This is a muscle group.
Calves this round.
We have. Yeah. We did it. It was last week that we did calves.
Or maybe that's the day I missed.
I think it was. It was that, that one day. The first week we didn't, you're right. But we did throw them in last week, and we're just going for it. We're going for it. Shake it out. Shake it out. I just need to shake my bum cheeks a little bit there. Okay, you ready to go? Round 4. After this, we're going to move into heels in, toes out. Focus on the flex. I could go through this and just do this, and I'm not getting what I just felt. When I slow it down and squeeze, so like I'm envisioning those 2 different portions of my calves. I'm squeezing. Now you're going to be able to feel those portions differently when you go toes in and toes out. Okay, so again, you really need to focus on trying to keep your heels behind your toes. I know I have a tendency of kind of rolling my heels in when I'm doing feet parallel. I'm really trying to just hover above the ground and then just squeeze. Just squeeze. You got her. Your core looks amazing this morning. Squeeze, squeeze, and bring it down.
Oh, wow.
Okay, things are actually warming up a little bit right now, but I'm going to stick with body weight for the pliés. So heels are together, toes are out, and you're going to roll out and then back in. So again, if you can try not to touch your heels to the ground, I'm going to ask you guys to squeeze your bum cheeks. So when your heels are in, squeeze your booty tight together, keep that firm, and then come up into that plie. Okay, so again, your backside chain, I want you to flex your bum cheeks. I don't want you to hyperextend by any means. I want you to make sure that your heels are touching and that you're rolling out. Oof. Inhale, exhale. You got her. This is going to be plenty. So we're going to roll to squeeze. And again, if you were touching your backside, again, I want you to squeeze your booty together. Your inner thighs are locked in as well. And then try and keep those legs with the same extension at the bottom as the top. I know a lot of time when we do this, especially with the clients, they start to bend at the knees. 5 more seconds. And then the tougher position, toes in and heels out. So this is this one, right? This is this one. I find this one super hard. My knees want to bend, right? My heels want to pull back in. So sometimes I stop mid movement. I'm going to try with my hands back behind and squeeze it. You got her.
This is a hard balance.
This is tough, eh? Especially like I really need something to hold on to focus on. I'm going to go this direction because those hands behind me, that was garbage. So real small squeezes, real small squeezes. It's like they're not working right now. I can even feel the endurance in my feet right now. Yeah, I can feel the outside portion of my feet. My legs are starting to vibrate a little bit, but I'm really focusing on rolling from the head of my thigh bone, right, the femur, and squeezing up and through. You got her.
I do find a shoulder stack better for doing calves than holding them on my side.
Yeah.
People are wondering.
Yeah, I think
both, but
I agree with that too, because it literally puts the weight directly
Straight.
over the working muscle. We talk about that too sometimes when we're talking about the booty. Shoulder stack's a real nice one because it puts the load right on top of those working areas. Toes are out, heels are in, and I always think of Melvaro when I do this. I just think she's the cat's ass when she does her dance moves. Did you know that she danced?
I think so.
Yeah, like she grew up in the dance community. And there's nothing she can't do. I'm pretty sure she can still do. I wonder if she can do a backflip. I'm going to ask her. I'm going to see her at Spin tomorrow. She's going to be there. Yeah. I'm going to say, Mel, can you just do a backflip for me? Just one. Just whip it out if you don't mind.
Probably be able to.
She'd be like, sure. Inhale to exhale. Again, my heels are wanting to kind of go out and away from each other. So I'm going to use my glutes. I'm going to draw my heels in. I'm going to feel that bringing it up to my inner thighs. And then we go back to toes together. Like this is the awkward one, right? I know, but it's enough. It's enough. I know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. I'm going to walk out of bed and then I'm going to hit the floor. Okay. Calves get me every time. Toes in, heels apart. For those of you that are thinking, holy cannoli macaroni. Yes, but I gave you a strong upper body or lower body on Monday, right? I gave you lots of volume, but to do that, I had to shift these little guys somewhere else. Inhale to exhale. And they're getting their time in the sun right now, aren't they? Showing you some different moves. If you guys have a step or an elevated area, you could always step up on that. That would allow your heels to go lower than we're able to go right now, right? Again, pull those heels out, toes in, trying to keep that reverse V. As I go down, my body's going and shake it out. 2 of 2 done. I know.
It's like that same feeling that you get in your forearm when they're
yeah, it's just pent up aggression. Toes are out, right? Chest is up, booty's back. I want you to pull in your heels, zip your inner thighs, brace your booties. I'm going to get you to take a big deep breath in. When you're ready, I want you to come up as high as you can. And then if you're able to, I want you to hover your heels so they're actually not sitting on the ground. Okay, so again, if you're able to do weight, go for it. If you have a stair or a step that you're off on right now, go for it because you're going to get that nice sink of your heels below. And I love that stretch in the calf. I love when we do elevated calves. It's just, we don't have that equipment here, but we'll always shout out too, because a lot of people do have stairs that they can go hop on. Inhale to exhale. Again, bringing some of that different stuff when we do programs outside of our regular series. So neck is nice and straight, flexing all those good muscles.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, my feet are like, gee.
Yeah, my arch wants to.
Your what?
My arch.
Oh, I heard your arse.
No, my arch.
What's going on with your arse? Are you getting that bum cramp like I get now? Up to squeeze, up to squeeze. So Cheryl, she came back home as she always does. I'm batting 100, right? She comes back home after work and she goes, oh, did you text me that yesterday? Where she told me, don't worry about it. The coffee won't turn into a paste.
Yeah. You have to add water.
I'm thinking that there's enough moisture in that bean.
Maybe if you heat it up enough, I think it'll just catch fire.
But I have you. I can catch anything on fire though.
Yeah,
but you aren't here.
Home.
I should do that stuff when you're home.
No, I'd stop.
I was so curious. You just get that little devil thing and you're
I'm
like,
just like, please don't destroy that coffee. You can just destroy the cheap stuff, not the good stuff.
well, but this coffee is not too bad though.
It's not too bad. That's
It's
what I mean. Don't.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
whatever you did was great. It was
Thanks.
great.
Thanks. Feeling accomplished. I feel right now like my calves, they're not burning right now. I feel like there's nothing in them. So I feel like there's kind of like no power in them.
Yeah.
And
And they're
then
like shaking up and shaking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they're like brrr, up and down. So love that feeling. Again, I need you to zip your inner thighs together. Those of you that were dancers would probably know that you're drawing in. I want you to squeeze your glutes in the back, pinch those inner thighs, and then come on up and let's rep it out because we have 10 more seconds in this position. Again, making sure, oh geez, that those heels stay tucked in. Oh yeah, the arches are really getting challenged right now.
Oh,
I
gosh.
know. And I
My
wear
knees, too.
hard custom orthotics. Thank God. Toes in. Okay. Good news is, last thing, I'm wondering if they've ever done, well, the people that have been with us before have done something like this, but the new people, have you ever done this type of thing before on your online programs? Right? Because I know other people have been on other platforms before.
What,
Jane,
the
yeah,
calves?
yeah.
Oh, this much?
Oh, yeah. Right? We get them all done.
I never did before.
Well, and that's what we say, like some weeks you're going to get more volume in those muscles, right? Because we switch it all around. So each muscle gets a little bit more every once in a while just to make sure that, we're punching it and pushing it. So pull those toes in, right? Twisting out. On the way, on the way. Again, I always equate it to like the baseball cards in the back wheel of the tire of the bicycles. I am vibrating right now. That's why you're going to like the next exercise. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, let's try and walk without falling. So shifting it down. The mats are already set up. You guys don't need to bring anything down. Now, this is the fun part where we're tying in the calves with the core. So I'm going to get you to lay down one vertebrae at a time. Okay, your hands are on the floor. If you don't want to do the elevated portion, you don't have to. But what I'm going to ask you to do is tuck yourself up to high bridge. Keep your left foot in high heel. Bring your right foot to tabletop. You're going to inhale and exhale. So I'm going to bring that foot in a little bit closer. Okay, so it's like you're wearing a high heel on your left foot. While you're doing this, you're going to inhale to exhale. Inhale up and exhale down. So this is Pilates that we're doing right now. So you're going to match the movement to your breath. The big part about this is I want you to make sure that you keep your hips level and really sit into that left calf. Okay, so again, try and pull that calf into the exercise. If that is too much, you can keep your foot flat on the ground, right? Switch it up. So I'm going to put that right foot into high heel. Make sure that you can feel a bit of a contraction. You're going to want to elevate at the hip, push your palms in. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, let's pick up that left foot. You can really feel that in the foot, can't you? You're going to exhale down and inhale up. Okay. So when we're doing tabletop in Pilates, I want you to make sure that your knee is terminating over your hip. So right now, my right foot is holding me up like I'm wearing a high heel, right? I'm sitting on the ball of my big toe. I'm sitting on the ball of my little toe. I'm pushing through my right glute. I'm pushing both palms deep in towards the mat. And we're just kind of bracing our core right now. So again, push your hips up as high as you can without putting pressure in your low back. And if the high heel portion of this is not working for you, maybe it's your ankle stability as well, dropping that left foot down, and then we recalibrate. So we're 2 of 2. If your knee feels a bit punchy of the side where the foot's on the ground, you might have to walk your foot a little bit further forward. Both heels are still up, right? I'm going to jam my shoulders into the mat as I inhale. Exhale, pull that foot up. We inhale and then exhale. Toe taps down and then inhale back in. You got her. Right? So we're going to exhale to inhale. Again, can you focus back on that left side? I can feel that my left glute is trying to really drop down. I can also feel that my baby toe pad and the foot pad where the baby toe sits, that's trying to take more then the big toe pad. So what I'm doing right now is I'm shifting my weight back in towards the big toe pad. So right where it is on the sole of the feet, not necessarily on the big toe, just to make sure we're going to put that right foot down, that I'm not just letting all the weight go to the outside. So again, pushing through, right foot stays in high heel. You can drop the heel down if you want. Last one on this, just a fun little core exercise as we inhale to exhale, pull up. We inhale, exhale, left toe taps down, and then inhale, come back up. So again, I want you to focus on your right foot. Can you get your heel up a little bit higher? I just over pulled my left knee past my own hip here. So I'm just going to make sure that when I inhale up, I terminate as I exhale, right? Slow and steady, making sure those hips stay level. I can feel the low back getting some work on this. Again, low back is part of your core, right? We will be focusing after this on obliques and the front portion of your abdominal wall. So we have about 7 seconds left on this. We are done with this, and then we start our series. So drop your heels, roll your spine down, and if you can just pull those knees into your chest. We do 4 exercises 3 times now. Okay, so we're gonna start with some elevated leg extensions. My back right now is tired after this week's programming. I'm gonna keep my hands behind, bring 1 foot, 2 feet. I'm gonna exhale to extend, and then inhale, pull back in. If you're feeling like very strong, you can just hold your body as you extend and then pull back in. You can also work 1 leg at a time. And if holding both legs in tabletop is too much, you can just work on 1 leg extension. Okay, so again, we're sitting back in towards, I always call this the beach pose, and we're gonna exhale. And this is the one where we're really focusing on pulling the belly down in towards the mat. Okay, so don't let the belly elevate. We kind of warmed you up with the first series, although we need more setup time when we do Pilates, don't we, right? We give a lot of time in the beginning of class when we do Pilates to make sure that everybody knows how to brace their rib cage so everything's strong. I'll just get you to flip over to your left side, and we just go into side planks. So we've obviously done these before. We've talked about them. You can stay on your knees if you want, right? You can come on up to your feet if you like as well. You can come onto your hands, or like we're doing, onto our elbows. We suggested last time too, if you want to do some hip dip and elevation, you can do that as well. Just want you to remember, we're not doing this 4 times. We're doing it 3 times today. So Cheryl's choosing to elevate one of her legs. That's just going to amplify the challenge of the exercise. We want you to make sure that your hips are level. And again, if you're reaching up, maybe you need a little bit of balance and that hand is in front of you. Maybe you're on your knees, maybe you're on one knee, and then having your top leg extended. There we go. My hand always falls back behind my shoulder. I want to make sure that I'm stacking that hand, and you can always gaze up towards your open palm. That's our countdown as we shift onto the other side, which is our right side. We will be changing these sides every time we restart this series. Make sure that your elbow is underneath your shoulder. Again, choosing your positions. Come on up. Arm comes up. I did a few demo dips and drives, so I'll just mimic that. I love making sure that we're doing the same thing on each side, right? And then I kind of stayed up. Right on. Okay, so we have one more exercise after this, and it's a side to side reach. So we'll be flipping back onto our backs. Okay, I'm going to ask you to keep your feet on the ground. You'll curl up, up, up as high as you can, and then reach from side to side. So we will be working your front core as well as the obliques. Okay, so relax that hand that's on the bottom, pushing through your elbow, making sure that your shoulder is level and that you're not getting too much tension in your neck. There's our beep, and then we drop down. So I'm going to stay in this direction because that's going to cue me on the next round to start out on my right. So we start here. We roll down. We encourage you to crunch up, up, up as high as you can. And then you're going to shift from side to side. Okay, so just little side reaches. If your neck gets tired, what you can do is just support your head, right? Remember, the hands don't pull the head falls back into the hands. And again, it's really small squeezes. So we're building off of the side planks where we worked the side obliques. This is your round 1 of 3. If you want to speed it up, I just really need you to focus on reaching and then trying to contract the side so you have pressure and tension not only in the front portion by keeping your body elevated, but you're also working the obliques. Right on. We go right back to our first exercise. So that was the one where we had propped ourselves up. Okay. We pulled 1 foot, 2 feet into tabletop. When we inhale in this position, as we exhale, we bring our legs out and then come back in. If you want to try and make the exercise a little bit more challenging, you can take the hands out of the equation. Are you going to stay propped up today? Yeah, me too. Back here to here. Again, this is another reason why I love that we do these workouts, because we feel the workouts, right? I think that's super important. Even though we all feel things differently, we all have different injuries. We have different levels that we're working at. I know that we're working to our best. So when we have these bigger programming weeks, like week 3 was definitely a bigger programming week for us as a team, we feel exactly what you're feeling too. Inhale to exhale. So we really want you to make sure that you are exhaling all your air. As you inhale, pull back in. As you exhale all your air, come on back in. Drop 1 foot, 2 feet. And again, if you need a little bit of time to stretch, pull those knees into your chest. Round 2, Carol, we're going to go over here, Jackie, as well. Elbow, hand, whatever works for you. If you want to come up into a high position, this is our side plank. I know this is round 2, and I'm feeling good on these side planks. The obliques, they feel strong. The shoulder feels okay. It's recovered off of that Wednesday session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some movement here. I love movement. You guys know me. I love stretches and works. So this gives me a great stretch as my hips come down to the floor. And then it gives me that little extra drive of power where I'm going to have to thrust up, all the while making sure that your hips again stay level and that you're really squeezing your core tight. So not only are we lifting and lowering, we're asking you to contract your core. Cheryl's gone back to her elevated leg position. That is a tough one. Switch it over. Let's go to our left side. Right on. Whew. Okay. Feels nice though. It's tough, but it's enough. It's, smaller muscle groups with the calves. And then these are tough core exercises. But what I love about them is that I think we can really focus in on some form.
I think it's just this week.
Yeah.
Everything's sore.
It was tough, eh,
I
Harold?
feel like everything's sore.
Yeah.
From the shoulders are sore. The back is tender, tight. So just amplifying all
all the other bits that work, right, to help
Yeah.
us get into these positions. That's why that all over training during the week is so great. So instead of doing, 2 all over body workouts, each muscle group really gets its time in the sun to shine, like we said, and they really have an opportunity for growth, endurance, strength. Inhale to exhale.
I just had a conversation with someone there
Okay.
yesterday.
Side to sides.
They just took 2 days off midweek because they're just like, I can't.
Okay.
And
They were tired.
Well, it's just important to recognize that because I'm feeling tired too.
Yeah. And we talked about that before today's class.
Yeah.
We had a conversation in the washroom. We have our most important conversations in the washroom. We have our own bathroom. That's why.
The only place.
It's the only place where the children can sometimes not find us. And I was like, buddy, you know what? If you can't, she's like, no, like, I think it's okay. Like, I think it's okay. But I was like, don't feel like you have to, especially when she comes off those 24-hour work shifts. Like, it's no joke. Push your low back into the mat and then reach. So pretend you're trying to get to your pinky toes. And I know some of you probably do have the flexibility to get there. Right now, I do not. But in my brain, I'm saying get to the pinky, get to the pinky. A little bit of a stretch if you need. I would say just rest your head for a second and pull your knees into chest. We only have one more round of these 4 exercises. So when we're ready, I'm going to recovery roll today to push up. Ball roll is a little bit more taxing on the low back. I'm going to put those elbows back behind, underneath my shoulders. Again, whatever works for you for setup. We're going to go 1 foot, 2 feet up. We're going to inhale in this position. When we're ready to exhale, we extend out until we have no more air and inhale. So it's a so really that breath to movement pattern I got me breathing and those deep core muscles are activating and I'm getting failure. I'm getting vibrations. I'm getting the core muscles giving me all that they can give. And it's really, really, really attached to the so we want you to consider working on that breathing pattern as well. When you do your core exercises, again, we bring all different types of core in. Today was more of a methodical chip away at it. Back to the left side. Last chance on this. If you can choose the exercise that's most challenging but doable, I'm going to go here. I'm going to elevate and I'm going to dip. You got her. So again, I'm always kind of looking for those bits that are building up pressure and tension here. So I always know that my hand on the bottom always wants to curl up into a fist. So I'm going to try and relax my fingers. Oh, I'm having such a hard time elevating this leg while moving. It's really not much of an elevation. It's taking away from my dips and drives. So I'm going to choose to do my dips and drives. Cheryl's holding that elevated leg position. Super tough, man. Inhale to exhale. Feeling the tension in the rib cage. Low back feels good. Dropping it down. Shoulder feels good as well. Moving on to that right side. Okay, you guys ready to roll? Right elbow, right hand under the shoulder. Just make sure that these guys are stacked or that the wrist is stacked, and then keep that shoulder down. We're going to bring it up, right on. So I did a little bit of this to start out with. Ooh, I tip backwards. Up and through. It is that leg. I have such a hard time keeping my gnarly leg. I'm going to drop it down. Inhale to exhale. Yeah, I have a real big weakness in this. I think it's coming out of my glute actually. When I lifted it up, it felt like my glute was pulling a little bit too much to keep that leg elevated. So we have about 10 seconds left to go, right? What are you at on this one? We have one more round after this. Those are the side to side reaches. So again, we're going to drop this down. Last round. Roll your spine down one vertebrae at a time if you can. Heads to the floor, hands to the floor. Push your shoulders in. Inhale. Bring it up. Oh, sorry. I bring it up. Oh my God. I was ready to do more Pilates. Although you could bring it up if you wanted to, right? If you could hold it in tabletop. I like to have the feet on the ground on this one so I can really have a base where I can pull myself over as well as really crunch myself up as high as you can. I can tell right now that the body has done what the body could do for me today. It really feels like I'm kind of running on fumes on this last round of 4, even though it didn't seem like a really crazy, obnoxious workout. It required a lot, especially with those side planks. If you can lay down now, relax your head, and just pull those knees. My hip flexors are so tight. Pull your knees in towards your chest. If you guys are looking to do something this weekend and you've caught up on your programs, or maybe you're doing your programs on the weekend, again, if you could put a little bit more time into stretching, inhale to exhale. Again, you can rock from side to side. The big thing I always tell people is treat your body like a piece of meat. Pull those knees tight into your chest, right? You got to manipulate into these deeper stretches. Don't just hold yourself. Dig deep, right? Pull those knees in, rock from side to side. I'm going to ask you to place 1 foot, 2 feet down, and just let the knees fall off to one side as you reach. Oh God, it is the middle back, that the muscles in the spine that are so tight still. So again, just trying to let those knees fall down into the floor. I did have a little bit of a spine release on that one. When you're ready, you're going to inhale, exhale, pull it back center, knees off to the other side, gaze and reach, go to the opposite. Now, I want you to be aware when you drop those knees over. Can you feel yourself kind of protecting them going down to the ground? I want you to inhale and exhale. Try and tell those muscles, you know what, it's okay. Just let them melt down a little bit, right? Let those muscles loosen up. Inhale to exhale. Right on. We're going to bring it back up into center. So you can either ball roll up or recovery roll. Just going to ask you to go into some cat cow. So you can go on your knuckles, on your hands. You can also go on your elbows or do this in standing. We're going to start by tucking our tailbone around and through. The spine is going to arch up as the gaze looks into the belly button. And as we exhale, reverse it. Our gaze is going to go up, followed by our spine. Tucking the tailbone, you're going to use it to inhale. And exhale. One more. Tuck the tailbone. And exhale. And then just come back to the self-right position. And we're going to get up, but please get up slowly just because you have been head down. Okay. So we're going to stretch out a little bit of the calves. Don't worry, you can't see our heads. Doesn't matter. You need to see our heels and our toes. We're going to go heel down, toe up. Keep the legs straight, please, as you push your hip in towards the wall. Just getting a gentle stretch in the calf. Showing you a forward fold as well. If you want a forward fold, grabbing your toe and then controlling the stretch on that one. When you're done on this, if you're bent over, tuck your tailbone, roll up. I'm just going to press away. Let's do some ankle rolls too to get those ankles moving. They did quite a bit, especially when they were in that high heel position on our tabletop with a toe tap down. When we're ready, whether you're doing a forward fold or one with the wall assist, right, we're going to push our bodies in. Try and keep your spines as straight as you can on both movements. So again, just feeling a gentle stretch. I'm kind of wiggling from pinky to big toe pad just to stretch out both sides of that calf. When you're done, you're going to back away or roll up your spine. And then again, just do some ankle rolls, right? Oh, a little crack in there as well. Shake them out. Okay. Not bad for a Friday. I think it was enough. I'm really glad. Oh, hey. I'm really glad that we did not do legs today. I'm glad that we didn't do Monday's program today.
Yeah.
That would have been tough. Right on. Boop. Okay, I'm going to X this out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the program. This is asking me if I want to continue to use Foxfire. Trish, thank you. Awesome. Trish, thank you for always showing up. Trish is a certified coach in many, many, many different aspects. So we know that Trish is absolutely capable of doing her own amazing programs. So we're really honored, Trish, that you take time and that you follow along with our work. So I hopefully that you're enjoying that you don't have to do all the work all the time for all the people anymore. So we're going to sign off. Trish, I am going to see you later on this afternoon before I head up north. To everybody else, have a safe weekend, and we will see you. I know, they just want to see your core. If you can just do a little flex for the folks. There we go. She's not even flexing. We will see you on Monday. You're 75% done the program. If you are with us now, 5 more days, we will see you guys.